Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby, and patch 9.15.1 for World of Tanks was just released today on the European server, and I've rushed to get you my mod pack working in its entirety. Although I have to admit, this was probably the trickiest update to the mod pack that I've ever had to do. And that's because Wargaming have introduced ActionScript 3 into World of Tanks, which basically rewrites the whole of the UI interface. And so they thought, in the short term, this change will have a large impact on the modding community. Nevertheless, after rewriting my entire config in the last 6 hours, I've managed to get everything working for you guys on day one. Firstly, this video is going to showcase all the features of the mod pack so you can decide whether it's of interest to you and why I feel, for me, they enrich my World of Tanks experience. And then following that, I'm going to give you a step-by-step installation guide. So firstly, as you load into the game, there are a whole series of statistics about your team and the enemy team at your disposal. I find these incredibly useful to gauge whether maybe we're going to have better medium tanks than the enemy team. Maybe the enemies have got some really good heavy tanks that I'm going to have to try and overcome. It kind of makes it a bit more like a puzzle, at least for me. Firstly is the total number of games each player has played in World of Tanks, which gives you a rough idea of how experienced they might be. Next up, the middle column showcases their WNA, which is a rough indicator of player skill. And finally, the overall win ratio on that player's account, which shows you how influential they can be in each game, and maybe if they platoon a lot. So firstly, a bit of announcement. I feel that Wargaming have made such improvements to the minimap that I'm not going to be using the XVM circles anymore. So if you still want to have the view range circle, the maximum spotting range circle, and also the draw distance circle, then I thoroughly recommend you check all of these options. And also make sure you enable expanded minimap features to always. And also, if you're so inclined, you can use the 16 and 25 times zoom here as well. So one of my favorite features of the mod pack is in the top left hand corner of your screen. It is a damage log. It tells you exactly how much damage you've done so far in the battle. It also tracks how much damage you've done to a specific tank type. Maybe you're trying to do a mission to do 3000 damage to heavies, for example, and it can be very useful to figure out if you're trying to hit a damage total maybe in specific tanks, if you're trying to hunt down a mark of excellence, or alternatively if you're perhaps just going for that ace tanker badge. The mod pack also uses a heavily cut down version of GambitER's Damage Panel, which has also been translated. As you can see in the bottom, you can see how hard you got hit by each one of your opponents, and also you can tell if they're firing premium rounds at you, which can be very useful for figuring out if you were angling your armor correctly, or perhaps the enemies were just compensating by dabbing that 2 key. Next up, there's a great feature for all of your artillery players out there, and that is BattleAssistant. It uses a third-person view to be able to get a different position on your opponents. Now, this doesn't make you any more accurate, but one of the best features about this is to see why you can't hit a specific location. So let's say I'm trying to aim here, I can press my G key and then I can clearly see that it is the mound that is stopping me. And this can be very useful for figuring out, okay, well, why don't I relocate? Why don't I change positions to maybe over here to be able to shoot further around the corner? Also, there is one hilarious feature that you might like, and that is if you hold down your Alt key as you fire, you follow the shell. I cannot get enough of that. But be very careful, because you can be laughing so much that the enemy artillery counter battery you when you stay in the same place. Also, if you're so inclined, you can activate an option later on to be able to see your estimated chance to win in the battle, which adds up the statistics of your team, pits them against the enemy team, and gives you a rough indicator of how likely you are to win. However, take these values with a pinch of salt, because I've seen just as many 10%ers won as 90%ers lost. Inside the garage, there are a hell of a lot of awesome features that will make your life so much easier. Number one is the option to automatically return a crew into a vehicle. So if you have many premium tanks like me, you can automatically move the crew into the premium tank, and then with one simple click, move them back into your non-premium tank. Furthermore, this also works with binoculars, camo nets, and toolkits. All the demountable equipment automatically get put on your tank, as you can see here. It gets removed off the Type 64, put back on the Type 64, and it's just so refreshing to be able to have all your crew moved in and your equipment put back on the tank with a single click. Furthermore, if you want to see how well you're doing in specific vehicles, your statistics are vastly improved. Now you can see how well you're playing in your tanks compared to the rest of the server, and so maybe you'll figure out some ones to focus on. So if you like what you see, now I'm going to give you a step-by-step instruction as to how to install this. It's really very simple. But if the idea of installing things on your computer that some stranger over the internet is giving you concerns you, and yes, it really should, if it makes you feel any better, my mod pack has been downloaded millions of times and I've been keeping it going for the last 3 years. So firstly, you want to download the zip file in the description box down below. Next, you want to find your World of Tanks folder, and if you don't know where it is or you're just really lazy, you can simply right-click on World of Tanks on your desktop and open the file location. Next, you want to open up your ResMods folder, and then it's as simple as copy-pasting the zipped file into here. Next, if you want to use the statistics in this mod pack, which are provided by XVM, then you're going to have to go onto their website and activate your account. Their website is modxvm.com, and if you get onto this website and it is in Russian, then don't worry, just simply click this English banner here. Next, you're going to have to sign in and click on your region. For me, that's EU. If you're redirected to the World of Tanks website and asked to log into your account, don't worry, XVM basically just get your account name and nothing else, which uses the Wargaming API system, which is very similar to what every single replay website out there uses. The next 2 steps are to click Activate Services and Update Statistics. This will last for 2 weeks, and if you want to continue using it, then simply come back and repeat these 2 steps. Next up, you can customize a variety of the XVM services here. Maybe you want to not see the statistics in the battle, perhaps you don't want to see your chance to win because it just makes you angry. If you've performed each of these steps correctly, the next time you log in, on the bottom right hand corner in your notification center, you will have a status active green. That is your go light, and everything should be working for you. And if it's not like that for some reason, then please rewatch the video and perform all the steps again. And finally, I'll highlight how to uninstall this mod pack if you don't like it. Select the mods folder, the configs folder, simply delete those. And this is a very important step. You must have an empty 0.9.15.1 folder inside your ResMods like you had at the start, otherwise World of Tanks won't boot up. And so I think that about covers everything. Hopefully you guys enjoy this mod pack. I've done the hard work so you don't have to. If you appreciate that, please consider giving this video a like. It really helps the channel out. And feel free to recommend it to your friends or your clanmates if they're looking for a mod pack that's always up to date on day one, which is clean and only uses the essentials. And so all that's left to do is to wish all of you guys the best of luck in 0.9.15.1. I hope you have some great games, and please share them with me on the Replays website. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.